Hi, so let's try to solve another problem. Find the coordinates of the midpoint of the following line segments shown in the coordinate plane below. So you have here line segment DB, this one, line segment BC, this one, and line segment DC, this one. So you need to find the midpoints of those line segments. So first off, you need to know your midpoint formula. So this is your midpoint formula. So you need to find your x and y coordinates. So that's x1 plus x2 divided by 2 and y1 plus y2 divided by 2. So let's start. DB first. So let's name this as your point 1 and this is your point 2. It doesn't really matter. You can name point B as your point 1 or point B as your point 2. You'll get the same answer. So let's substitute. So midpoint, so that's midpoint of DB. So what's x1? Your x1 is negative 6 and your x2 is 0. So that's negative 6 plus 0. So negative 6 plus x2 is 0. Next, you have there y1, negative 1, and y2 is 5. So y1 is negative 1, and y2 is 5. Now you can simplify this one. So that's negative 6 plus 0 is, of course, negative 6. And negative 1 plus 5 is like 5 minus 1, that's 4. So simplifying that further, you have there negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3. And 4 divided by 2 is, of course, 2. So you can also check if that's correct. So you have here negative 3 and 2. Yes, it's the midpoint of your line segment DB. Okay, next. For the midpoint of BC now. Again, it doesn't really matter. I want this as my point 1, and I want this as my point 2. So let's substitute it again. So the midpoint of BC now is, you have there x1 is 0, x2 is 6, so 0 plus 6. And then y1 is 5, y2 is negative 3, so that's 5 plus negative 3. Next, you have to simplify this. 0 plus 6 is, of course, 6. 5 plus negative 3 is like 5 minus 3. So 5 minus 3 is 2. Simplify it again. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 2 divided by 2 is, of course, 1. So you can check that again. You have here 3, 1. So plot 3 and plot 1. So that's correct. That's the midpoint of your line segment BC. Last, for the midpoint of your line segment DC, it doesn't really matter again. I want this as my point 1 and I want this as my point 2. You can interchange them if you want to. So I'll have here midpoint of DC. So that's midpoint of DC now. So x1 is -6 and x2 is 6. So I'll have here -6 plus 6. And my y1 is -1. My y2 is -3. So that's -1 plus -3. Simplifying this further, you'll have here -6 plus 6 is like 6 minus 6. So that's 0 divided by 2 is of course 0. So let's write 0 there. For this one, it's -1 plus -3. It's like -1 minus 3. So that's -4. So 1 is -4. Simplifying this further, you'll have here 0. -4 divided by 2 is -2. So you can check that again. 0, -2. So plus 0 and -2. So that's right. That's the midpoint for your line segment DC. So I hope I helped you. Bye.